All right. So, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining in this code walkthrough session. So, we are hosting this session in regards with FOSS Hack Partner Projects Program. And a few of our projects have agreed to go through this code walkthrough so that it will serve as a resource for future contributors and for the participants who are participants of FOSS Hack who will be contributing to the projects in general. So roughly, we'll be talking about a little bit of generic stuff with respect to the project. Even then, we'd go through the technical aspects, how to set up the project and a basic walkthrough of its code base, and discuss some of the issues that had been laid out for FOSAC Partner Projects Program in general. So today we have Vishnu and Vishal from Amaze, Team Amaze, and Team Amaze has collaborated with us to with their project Amaze File Manager, and it is a and right now I'd like not to take up more time since we have a time crunch. I'll now hand it over to Vishal and Vishnu to take up the session.
Thanks, Ria. Thank you very much for inviting us. Yeah, it's a real pleasure. So basically, I'll just quickly start with the vision of how we came up with this idea. So it was like back in 2013, 2014. That's when we started working on this. Basically, our inspiration was there was a file manager called Root Explorer, and it basically provided advanced file management features for Android devices. And that's when we felt that okay, the file manager is good, but we felt that the UI user experience can be much better. And that is when we decided that okay, at that time material design was like something new in the Android world. So that's when we decided okay, we want to allow users to have a clean UI file manager based on like the latest material design, also at the same time provide all the advanced features that Root Explorer had. So basically that was the inspiration, and that's when we started working on it. I think it initial version took around 6 7 8 months to work upon. And after that it was all about how we are going to approach with the launch. And we felt that okay, if we keep it open source, then many other people will be able to contribute, like who have been already working on this area. They would have much better expertise than us, and we can learn from them. So that's when we decided okay, we are going to keep it open source so that we can learn and grow together at the same time. And yeah, that was the initial inspiration. We received a lot of recognition and good response from open source community at that time. And till now we are receiving great love from the open source community. And like this just kept us stick to the idea of providing an open source experience where uh, user can actually forget about having any privacy issues or any data, any capture of their data. And they can actually utilize the tool that they are actually using to the full extent. So yeah, till now I think it's been around 10 years, and we kept working on it. We kept implementing new features and newer versions. Recently we also launched another app, Amaze Utilities. So this the idea behind this was uh, you know uh, so the file manager is one thing, but there are a lot of other tools which we use on our mobile from day to day uses, like music player, video player. And recently I also used Google Files app, which allows us to clean up our storage and clean up any waste data in our storage. So I just thought that okay, these are some of the simple things and tools that should be open source as well. So in 2021 we started working on Amaze Utilities. That's another app separate from our file manager. But yeah, it the idea behind it is to extend the functionality from the file manager. So yeah, so these are the two apps, and we are working right now. We are partnering with File Manager since it's also really vast, and we would really appreciate any contributions and any help we can get. We also provide bounties, like for any significant contribution to our issues or new feature implementation. So that's something we can afford to provide, and I just hope that yeah, we will learn and grow on this journey. I would like to hand over to Vishnu now, so he will be able to walk you through the code base.
So, yeah, everyone, I'm Vishnu. I'm a fresh computer science graduate and I've been contributing to Amaze from 2020. So, I'll get started by showing you through Amaze and its features uh, provided everyone might not have used our application in real life. So, I'll share my screen and how to share the screen.
Vishnu, the third option below on the doc.
All right.
Got it?
Yep. Thanks. So, hope you can see my screen. So yeah, so I'll show you around our main features. As a file manager, we have everything that a user expects from a file manager. We have file listing. Obviously, you can do all these operations: copy, cut, paste, delete, etc. We also have compression, encryption features. Encryption, we can encrypt. We can use multiple encryption algorithms. We can use AES. We have our own encryption algorithm known as AZD. You can encrypt using that. Uh, and talking about other features, we have our own FTP server implementation. So basically, we can turn our phone into an FTP server and connect using other devices. Uh, Also, we have as an add-on, we have app manager. Here basically we can manage the applications that you install, third-party applications that you installed on a device, and extract their APKs, etc. And talking about other features, we can act as an SMB client, or we can also act as an SFTP client. Also, we can add implement. We can use Amaze to connect with our Google Drive, Dropbox, etc., and access those files from here itself. So enough of the features. I show you on how to clone the repo and get started with contributing to Amaze. So, so okay, this is our repository. So initially we should clone the repo. Uh, we have a contribution guidelines listed here, and the steps I'll follow will be listed in this file actually. So we can just open a folder and do a git clone. And we can open it in Amaze File sorry, Android Studio. So how you do is, actually let me close this project. So talking about Android projects, the initial setup is might be kind of overwhelming. We should have internet connected, and the IDE will itself download all the dependencies and stuff it requires. So it will take a bit of time. Uh, while this gets set up, I'll walk you through the code using the project I've already opened. So in any Android project, the first entry point will be the manifest file. So this is the manifest file. As we have, in a C program, we have the main function. This manifest file will be the entry point to any Android application. So in this, the first thing we are launching is our main activity. So we can navigate to that file. Um, so we are following MVVM architecture, talking about MVVM. We have a view layer on top, and we have view layer in between, and we have model in the bottom. This activity deals with the view layer on top. So I'm not sure I have enough time to walk you through with all the features. So I'll walk you through with the core functionality of application, which will be file listing and file operations. So first we'll look into file listing. So when the application loads here, first this method gets called on create method.
So here we are like basically initializing bunch of resources like the history, the hidden files, and everything, and we are loading all the things in the background.
If you remember our layout, we can have multiple tabs at the same time. So that is handled by another file known as main fragment. So here is where the listing happens. So from this file, I cannot actually find the actual line of code. So this file gets called, and here is where we are listing the files. So as I mentioned before, these are we are overriding this method. So this gets called by the operating system Android device itself.
Vishnu, can you also mention the relevant functions that are there in the code? So that, and not maybe not all, but the important ones.
So, okay, sure. Uh, so uh, in this main fragment we have the load list function. So this loads the current path into the main fragment. In the load list, actually we use another a list task. This task basically is responsible for actual loading of the files from the file system on the background thread, and serving them back to the UI layer, as I mentioned before. So this task extends an async task. This async task is provided by Android itself. So in that we are overriding this do in background function. So this do in background function is runs on a background thread, and here we are handling multiple file systems the user might have. We have an SMB system, we have an FTP system, and we have, as I mentioned, we have the cloud provider systems, etc. So in this, I will like just talk about the local file system. So default. So this is the load file list task dot list default function, and from here another service gets started, which so this is a class that access iRoot command. In this iRoot command, we can run basically the bash commands and Linux commands on our Android device, and this provides us with the results. So here we are. This is the entry point list files. And this function. So yeah, here we are checking whether we are running on the root directory or the user directory, etc. We also provide, as Vishal mentioned before, we also provide a root file explorer, uh, which basically your device should have root access. If you have root access, we can manipulate root file directories and files. So if we are, then we are doing that. I'm not going into that details. So we like talk about the basic, user file listing implementation. So then this get files list method gets called, and
I think this would be the right time to explain about hybrid file. You can open the hybrid file class. Yeah, so yeah, this is on the base of everything. Basically, since we are we want to manipulate, we are handling multiple file systems. It could be remote, it could be local. So this is the class responsible for handling all the operations on each file system. So in this, as you can see, line number, you don't have line number. Okay, in the constructor has accepts as open mode. Uh, yeah, line number 152. So constructor accepts the open mode. So it's basically an enum. Can you open the open mode once? Yeah, so this is basically an enum which defines what kind of file it is, what kind of hybrid file it is. So yeah, go back to the constructor. So we create an instance of a hybrid file with an open mode and the path, the current path of that file name and its directory. So this is the basic arguments that we accept while creating a hybrid file. And after this instance is created, there are various functions that are the at the root of a file. So let's say file is an object. You consider it as an object. Doesn't matter what kind of file it is, remote or local. So now we want to define the functionality of that file. So let's say last modified. So how we are going to find out the last modified of a file? Doesn't matter what kind of file it is. So the implementation for that goes here. So for each case, we have a different implementation for last modified. Similarly, here we have a implementation for finding the length of the size of the file, and even the implementation for getting the name, line number 462, uh, getting the name of the file, uh, and let's say if you want to list, let's say that file is a directory. So if you want to list the files under that directory, so even the list, getting the list of the file implementation goes here. So this is at the base of everything, and we have all the async tasks on top of it, like the one that we saw, load list task. We have another async task called delete task. So let's say we want to delete a file, so that's another background that runs on another background thread, which invokes one of the methods of this only, of the hybrid file. And yeah, so these are small running tasks which would be which can be done in few seconds. So let's say we are listing files, so listing files can be finished within few seconds. But let's say we have some long running operation. Let's say we want to compress multiple files or copy multiple files. So those are long running tasks. So those are implemented as services instead of async tasks. So let's say we want to copy multiple files. So can you open the copy service once? Yeah, so this, as you can see, is a line number 72 abstract progressive service. Basically, this allows us to keep this has base functionality. This is an abstract class which has base functionality to allow us to keep track of how much the operation has proceeded. Doesn't matter which operation is it, whether it be copy operation or compress operation. So these kind of operation are run as a as background so that Android doesn't kill this service when the user stops there, even if the user exits the application. So these services keep on running in background uh, with the notification with the status, the the progress of the operation. So go back to copy service once, Vishnu. Yeah, so here we accept, let's say we want to copy multiple files. So line number 106. Uh, so we get list of files, list of hybrid files, obviously from the intent, and and then proceed ahead to do the thing, basically invoke the notification and then start the actual copy functionality. So yeah, that's basically it. uh, we have services on top, and we have async tasks on top, and can you scroll down, down more? Yeah, so here we, okay, down more. Okay, here we must be invoking the copy function somewhere. Do copy or something like that. So at the end of the day, we are calling Java API. So in Java, we have, file system API, uh, which is a non-blocking input output and IO APIs. So those allow us to, perform operations, file system operation at a quick pace, like at a faster pace, non-blocking pace. So that functionality uh, is for the local, and for the remote, again, we have different functionalities for different use cases. Right. Any doubts so far, or someone wants to ask something? Because this is the base of everything, and yeah, all the base operations are written here. So if someone has any doubt. Okay, so going ahead, I just hope, yeah, everyone is clear. So going ahead, we have something called layout parcelable or even hybrid file parcelable. So as you can see, like the base functionality implementation is here. Let's say for this get name, we had that long functionality. But the thing is, it's not efficient to do this every time. You know, uh, every time a user navigates to a folder, we wouldn't want to we wouldn't want to run this function again and again, because it's very slow. Let's consider a folder has 1,000 files. We wouldn't want to access each file in the file system again and again for 1,000 times. That would be very slow. So we have something called parcel labels in Android, which are persisted even if the state of the application changes. So yeah, until unless it's not something major operation or user forces a reload, we keep all the list that you saw, all the list of directories and files into a parcel label. So all the operations that you see, let's say go back to copy service once. So all the operations that you see are on the parcel label, line number 106. And also parcel label allows us to pass the instances of this files and folders between services and async tasks. So that's something native to Android, and it also allows us to make our application faster and load the folders quickly. That's another aspect. Going back to main fragment, can you go back to main fragment once? Can you run the application once, Vishnu, if you can? So fragment is something, the concept where we can have multiple fragments. Like fragment is a component of a screen basically. So here what we have is we are seeing a main activity, which is the whole screen, our whole entry point for our application. On top of that, we have two windows here, like left pane and right pane. So this is the right one. If you had a real device, you could scroll to the left. So this allows us to access two different folders at the same time. We can even drag from one folder, from one pane, and drop the files to another pane. So like it allows user to basically efficiently perform, at the same time perform multiple operations on multiple folders. So here we have basically each pane is a main fragment, and all the functionality for that pane. Let's say for this pane we have that three dot menu. So can you press on one of them on in the list? Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
that
So
is frozen. Okay.
okay, is it? Let's just wait. Yeah, so basically this is one pane, and this is responsible for handling all the operation on a given hybrid file parser level. So all the cut, copy, paste, compress properties, add to bookmarks, all the functionality for these would be, the entry point for these would be in this main fragment basically. And so in Android we have a thing called adapter. Adapter allows us to handle each element in that, each item in a given list. So let's consider this. In this main fragment we have list of folders. So this list of folders and list of files would be managed by an adapter. Is this the correct one? So this adapter instance for a given adapter, let's say this adapter is populating folders and files. So the instance for this adapter would be in main fragment, and since this adapter is handling all the items, let's say in this it's handling all the list of files and folders. So the operations like cut, copy, paste, and delete and rename would be the responsibility of the adapter, since adapter is holding each item within it. So that's the hierarchy for the basically the main screen. In main fragment, sorry, in main activity we have two main fragments. In each main fragment we have adapter, and in adapter we have functionality written, the entry point for each operation, cut, copy, delete, and then each operation, let's say copy and paste, are handled by either services or async tasks. Any doubts so far? Any questions? Yeah. Okay. Looks
So
good.
this initial will show the how to set up, build, and run our project for the first time. So the previous projects, the one I imported, the new project I imported, I've actually completed importing. Um, so from here, in order to build, we actually need to create an emulator. I actually created an emulator, but if you're doing it for the first time, here you wouldn't see any devices. So we should take the device manager and create an emulator. So yeah, we can select the device to be emulated. Uh, I actually got a question. Hi Atharva, NFS type file system. We are actually we are handling it ourselves, and we are not using a third party library for
Basically,
NFS.
yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Vishnu.
Vishal, you can. But
Yeah, we have our own uh, uh, fork of library. Actually, Raymond is not here with us, so he would have been able to go into more detail about NFS file system. Uh, but yeah, basically we are using a third-party library, and we are dependent on multiple third-party libraries for communicating with on the network. And as for the read-write failures, yeah, we have redundancy for every operation that you see. Let's say for any operation, copy operation, we have fallback implementation for everything. And even after fallback failures, uh, we provide visual cues for the user. Either there's a progress, as we saw abstract progress service was there, so we would provide visual cues at the end of the operation to user that okay, this many files failed to copy, or this many operations have failed. So that's how we are handling read write failures.
so yeah, we can let's continue the initial setup. So you can create an emulator, or we can connect an Android device. On an Android device, from the settings and developer options, we should enable USB debugging, and we can connect it via USB cable, and we can test our devices, test our application, and build and run our application on the real device. So here we'll demonstrate in the emulator itself. So yeah, and luckily I didn't get any build errors. So say we get any build errors, it will be shown in this. Yeah, so it will be shown in this menu. Here you will see the errors. Yeah, this is just a warning. So yeah, the option setting disable resource validation is true is experimental. So just a warning, if we have any build errors, anything we have to do with Gradle, something, we'll see it here. As of now, our main this is another main thing is the default branch that we use is our latest release slash 4.0, and not our master branch. Our master branch currently points to the code which we had on our last release. So if anyone is working on anything, that should be pointed to the release 4.0 branch and not the master branch. So as of now, this branch is stable and this doesn't have any issues. Um, yeah, but if anything goes wrong in your local device, it will show up here. So basically what you do, if you get an error, is copy that error, strip out all the paths and local paths, etc., and we can Google search it up. We'll most definitely get an answer for Stack Overflow. Yeah, that's how we'll fix the build errors, and yeah, we'll run it.
Meanwhile, it's running. Vishnu, can you explain about the build variants? Like just
Yeah,
briefly
yeah.
explain.
So yeah, we have multiple build variants. We have our application listed on the F-Droid main repository and Google Play Store. So in F-Droid, if we can see, so basically F-Droid, what F-Droid is, a repository for Android applications which is completely open source. They take our code, build the APK with their own uh, signing keys and publish it here. So one mandatory thing for publishing on F-Droid is we should not have any closed source dependencies. Even the dependencies we use should be completely open source itself. So yeah, for but we essentially had to use some closed source dependencies. So we are stripping that out from the F-Droid flavor and keeping them only on the play flavor only. So for that, we are having multiple build variants. Yeah, and the debug will be the one that we build on our local device, and the release will be the one that will be signed APKs or signed bundles that we publish to the Play Store or other repositories, etc. So how we actually do that will be on the build.gradle file. So yeah, we have multiple build.gradle files. If you are new to Android, this is something we should keep in check of. This file that says project will be our top level Gradle file, config file, which stands for the whole project. And this says module colon app is the config file. This is the build Gradle file for our app module. We have other modules also. We have file operations module, we have port scanner module, we have compression module, etc. So yeah, we the way we handle flavors is yeah. So yeah, we can see the F-Droid flavor and the play flavor getting configured, and we also the
Uh,
file listing. Yeah, we can see the F-Droid flavor files and the default play flavor files. Yeah, Vishal.
no, no, go ahead.
Yeah. So for the closed source dependencies, the dependencies that we use, we should actually yeah, this cloud rail, this dependency is used to communicate with the cloud. So we should basically provide the empty stubs in order for the project to compile and build actually. So we have actual implementation in the play flavor files, but I mean on the F-Droid flavor of files, we just provide empty functions, empty stubs in order for the project to compile. So this is another thing we should take care of when you're planning to contribute. If you open a file in the wrong directory, it will like come up to be empty. It won't have any files. The thing is like we haven't switched the variant. This is another thing to keep track of. If we select the play, I don't want to do it right now. It will like slow down my machine another bit. So if you select play debug, all the files will be in place. So
Can
yeah,
you
it is
explain
still
the search functionality once, like just briefly?
yeah,
You are the
sure.
one who implemented it, right?
It's actually
Like,
frozen. I shouldn't have used an emulator actually.
oh, is it?
So yeah, regarding the search, I'll like open the So yeah, regarding search, we have multiple options of searching. Yeah. Hi, am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes,
you are out.
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we have multiple modes of searching. Initial searching, which is which will be very responsive and quick, just searches on the current directory. And next, on the next level, we have an indexed searching, which searches from the media store. This media store is basically an SQL database that is maintained by our Android device itself. Every media file that we have, let it be pictures, audios, or documents, uh, and other APKs, etc., will be indexed and stored in this media store database. So this makes it easier for searching and indexing, etc. So we are searching this media store database. And so we'll if we on the second level of searching, we searches the media store database. And if we can't find it, then also we will like press the try deep search. The third search is deep search, which basically performs the recursive search from the root of the file system and downwards. We are doing a DFS from root of the file system and downwards.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
idea
so
behind this is, a search is supposed to be quick. Earlier, we were just doing DFS, and it was very,
yeah.
very slow, obviously, because if you're doing any file operation, it's going to be slow basically until unless like it's not cached. So that's how we approached it. We wanted to make the search faster, so we allowed user to, if let's say we are in download folder and we have 1000 files, so most of the times the user would want to look for a file within that download folder only. So initial search we perform within that directory. Since we have hybrid file list for that directory, we can quickly do a iteration among that list and show results to the user. But if let's say user is not able to find the expected result that he was expecting, so then our next approach comes that we give user an option to perform a index search. Index search, again, as Vishnu explained, it there's an index maintained by Android device, Android operating system itself, in the form of media store. So that allows us to access all the pictures, all the media files, which is relatively quicker as well. That is also very relatively quick. So that's the second option. And finally, if the user still, let's say if user has some other files, let's say compressed files, zip files, or exe files, those are not the media files. So Android operating system doesn't index them. So that's where we perform the DFS at the end. These are like the three different layer of search. So again, we explain this, and we expect that if someone has, any idea of how they can improve this functionality or any other functionality in the application, or if they want to improve even the UI, so they should know that what all features are there and how any feature is working, so that they can improve, help us improve it basically.
So yeah, and this is basically the initial setup that we are talking about. And regarding contributions, so like I'll try to demonstrate the approach that someone should follow in order to handle an issue, a FOSS hack issue. So say like I just want. So like I'm just taking a FOSS hack easy label issue. Mm, which one? So yeah, allow to infinite scroll the tabs. So as I showed before, we have multiple, we have two tabs on the home screen. So this issue basically wants you to implement. Say we are on the first tab, and I scroll left from the first tab. It should circle back onto the second tab. So we currently don't have that implementation. It will like get stuck. You won't like get any response if we scroll left from the first tab, or if we scroll right from the second tab. So how someone would approach this is, we should first find the file that handles it. As I mentioned, as Vishal mentioned before, this is handled in the adapter. So like, this main activity first, you should go to main activity. This is the entry point, and we'll find the view model view pager adapter. Mhm. Actually no.
It's inside tab fragment.
Right, thanks. So yeah, this tab fragment is on top of the main activity, and yeah, we have the slide pager adapter. So this basically handles the swiping and sliding and stuff. So if someone wants to implement that issue.
Yeah, basically, they would need to extend the functionality here. If someone invokes a left swipe from left tab, then it should go to the right one basically. So they would need to extend here in this class.
Yeah. uh, so yeah, get fragment at index. So like, if we are like currently checking, we have equal to 2. No, right. Mm, yeah, these are the left and right top drag listeners. So you should implement it here itself. And this is the target class that we should implement that issues functionality. And like, I will also explain one other good first issue, which like, might not be must not which is not related to FOSS Hack, but this gets helps you get started contributing to Amaze. So this label, issue bug label, this label stands for all these crashes that occurs when we are doing something. So say this issue. So yeah, this is null point. NP stands for null pointer exception. If you have coded at least once in Java, you will know what null pointer exception is. So it basically tries to, if you try to refer something or access something from a null object, this NP occurs. So how to handle a crashes? We like, this is the stack trace. Most of our bug labeled issues have stack trace. So we'll like copy the stack trace, and we'll paste it on the log cat. Actually, that didn't get copied. So yeah, what up?
The copy is not working.
So yeah, instead of copying, we'll like look it here itself. So yeah,
Line one.
yeah. The this track trace is actually provided by the system, and this is our Amaze apps stack trace. So yeah, what happened is I attempted to invoke virtual method. Virtual method means like that method doesn't exist on a null object reference. So like this will be the exact line of concern. So if we copy this, No, that the copy doesn't work on my machine for some reason. So yeah, or this, like, main fragment, this will be the file and this will be the function. So if we go to main fragment and compute scroll, yeah. So to the method definition. So yeah, this is where that crash occurred actually. So this actually provides a line number 1069, but this line number might not be accurate, since this crash report came from the 3.10 release version. So we haven't actually released anything after 3.10. So I mean, like, that's actually the line number. But if, say, like, I mean, something, the crash report might be a couple of years old, I mean, like, or a 1 year old, but then the code base must have been updated and the line numbers must have changed. So if you are looking into crash reports, the this file name and the function signature should be the way to go. So yeah,
And
diagnosing.
we have separate branch for each release. So it would be better to just switch to release slash 3.10 and then check the stack trace and go to the method. That would point to you to the exact position where we expect the crash. Can
Yeah,
you
yeah,
go to the ID again back?
yeah. In the bottom right, we
So
can select the
basically,
branch.
yeah, line number 1069. Basically, we are invoking with view with VI, and line number
Get childed. Yeah,
1070 we are, yeah, that's where it crashed. List view dot get child at.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So list view was null, that's why it gave 0 or something like that. Basically, most of
yeah.
the NPs would be like,
So investigating this, we should find out whether how this list view gets empty, or here in this case, we are, if we are equal to null, we are returning 0. So compute scroll basically calculates the scroll position the user has scrolled in the list. So a very simple fix will be to move this line to the top, uh, and we can just check if view list view equal to null, we are returning 0. So I mean, in this case, we had this like initial fallback case of 0, fallback value of 0. That's why this will work. uh, what's wrong?
don't return 0, just put
Okay, like, I mean, okay, we are
scrolls dot put on
all
top.
right. So all right.
That's fine. We are out of time, Vishnu.
Yeah, all right. So then we will, like, return it from here so that the crash doesn't occur. And another important thing is, any changes that you make should be, like, according to our formatting guidelines and our formatting and code quality enforcement. So for that, we use a library known as Spotless. This is, yeah, this is this library we use for. So for doing that, we should run gradle spotless apply. So this, this command and this script automatically enforces the formatting, so that like, our code will be consistent with.
Yeah, just the things like the length, let's say length of each line shouldn't exceed more than 120 characters or things like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Each file should have a
Exactly.
copyright on top. So your PR, your build will not compile in pass in PR unless your this spotless check is getting success.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it. So, yeah,
Okay,
Uh,
I think that was it. Let's wrap up, Vishnu.
yeah,
Before wrapping up, Vishnu, I had one question to ask. So there
yeah,
was
sure.
this issue there was an issue titled tutorial, right? So what
Yeah.
is that about actually?
So that, haven't I commented? Yeah, discussions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So See, we have a feature. Actually, I closed the emulator. We have lots of features that are undocumented. So we have a feature named as open in new window. So each file, each directory we open will be opened in a new window. So that's not documented. So if someone want to do an FAQ kind of resource or something, they can work on it. That's just, I mean, yeah, that's
So
just
it's
a
more of
documentation issue.
like a documentation issue, right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
documentation. So we don't, okay. That's just
No, it's
documentation
okay.
issue.
You can add it later also. It's fine.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. So we have like around 10 plus issues, right, with Amaze that had been labeled for FOSS Hack. Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
I
So
think I'll
if
label more brief. I actually didn't get time, so maybe today I'll just go through this list again and list a few more easy ones, or the ones that can be picked up by a newcomer.
Sure, sure. So, thank you so much, Vishal, for that. So, for more context, everyone, I think a few more folks have joined in the call also. So, in case if you have any queries to ask to Vishnu or Vishal, please, you can ask, you can put forth your queries now. Okay, in case if you don't want to, if you don't have anything to ask right now, also it is okay. So we have a channel dedicated to FOSS Hack. We have a public group, a Telegram group for FOSS Hack, and you can either ask your queries over there, or the Amaze for the GitHub discussions are actually open for any generic queries related to the project. And along with that, Team Amaze also have a Telegram group, right, Vishnu?
Yep.
Yeah. So these are
Okay.
all the avenues where you can post your queries in. And yeah, and more along, if you'd like to. So FOSS Hack for most of you might be familiar with what FOSS Hack is, so I'm not going into much detail on that. But for partner projects program, you can more of like see it as an additional support. So FOSS Hack is slightly different in terms of a hackathon too. You can either build a FOSS project from scratch, or you can also contribute to an existing open source project too. It can be a FOSS project of your own, or it can be another FOSS project, another open source project, anything as you wish. So and this program is sort of like a support case where if you are unsure of what you want to build or contribute to, so our suite of partner projects issues would serve as your problem statements. You can choose if you are if you have been using one of these projects and you'd like to take this avenue to contribute back, you can take it up. If you are in favor of a particular programming language or a stack, and you are looking forward to working with one of them, you can check on these. And Amaze File Manager is mostly with Java and Kotlin in
Kotlin,
the
yeah.
progress. Kotlin in the
Yeah.
progress. Yes. So if you are looking forward to contributing to Amaze File Manager and in the avenue of FOSSAC, so please check out the issues that are labeled, and you can propose in the issue comments to work on them. And once you have it assigned, start your prep work for the next 2-3 weeks. And the FOSSAC itself is on July 27th and 28th. So all your evaluations that are in the scope of FOSS Hack will be the commits, those commits that you are making during the hackathon days will be evaluated in the scope of FOSS Hack. And even if not, you can even start your commits earlier on. You prep up whatever you want, and if you are looking forward for a weekend hack, then this is more like your ideal case to work upon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And once you are looking forward to participate in FOSSAC and contribute to Amaze, once you have your issues assigned, please go register for FOSSAC You can either hack individually or as a team of 4 and put in your project in the FOSS Hack dashboard and get hacking. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And this session is also recorded, and we'll be using this as a future resource too, in case someone wants to go through the code walkthrough and any relevant information that has been uh, shared during this call. So thank you so much again for joining, everyone. And we have more code walkthroughs coming up for other partner projects too. Thank you so much, Vishnu and Vishal, for joining us. I hope you had a nice time with explaining your project as well.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah,
Thanks so much for inviting us.
it's a pleasure.
Looking forward for contributions from everyone.
All right, I'll stop the recording right now.